Who do you have taking home the Big Five awards? We'll start with Offensive Rookie of the Year. Doug, who do you have taking home the award?
As I said, Cam Ward, the NCAA's best pocket passer last season. That tends to transfer because it did with Jaden Daniels the year before. We all talk about the off-schedule stuff and all that. The first thing Brian Callahan, the head coach of the Titans, said when they selected him first overall was, this guy is a monster in the pocket. When he was asked at the Combine, what is your greatest attribute? Cam Ward said, it's from the pocket. And everyone kind of went, what? Then, okay, watch the tape, look at the metrics. It's there. They've got enough on the ball with their targets. The offensive line's a little weird. I don't know why you pay Dan Moore that much money to be your left tackle after he led the NFL in sacks level 12, but I'm not the one in charge. But I think Cam Ward has more than enough on the ball to – it's not going to be the same kind of franchise turnaround that Jaden Daniels engineered, but I do think Cam Ward will show, yes, that you have a franchise quarterback now. That you can check that box.
Luke?
I'm going to go Ashton Jeanty. I think I agree with all of what Doug said about Cam Ward, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that whatsoever. But you don't take a running back at number 6 overall unless you're going to make him the focal point of your offense. And I think, again,
or unless you're Pete Carroll. That
team is going to be organizationally so much more healthy this year, and I think Geno Smith elevates the passing game. They're not going to be able to stack the box like teams were able to do against Ashton Jeanty in college. It's not going to happen in the NFL. They're not going to be allowed to get away with that. He's going to have more room to run in the NFL than he did at the college level, and I think he's going to get the ball a ton. I think that team's going to be better than the Titans, so I think he's going to be kind of more visible than Cam Ward might be. Again, that's kind of a problem for the NFL, why they didn't put Cam Ward on national television more often this year. But I think Ashton Jeanty's going to get the ball a ton. I think he's already a household name. I think he ends up putting up huge numbers and running away with that.
Glad I could be the tiebreaker here. I'm going to go with Cam Ward. I think Doug said it perfectly. We're going to look at Cam Ward and be like, this guy is a franchise quarterback. He can win your team games. Cam Ward, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
All right, let's move on to the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who do you guys have there?
I'll go first with Travis Hunter because he's primarily going to play cornerback. And I've talked to Richard Sherman and Dick LeBeau pre-draft about where Travis Hunter should play. And Richard Sherman and Dick LeBeau told me that he should play primarily cornerback. If you have an argument, don't take it up with me. Take it up with a future Hall of Famer and maybe the best defensive coach of all time. End of story.
I don't disagree with that, and I think the film will tell that story. That's not what wins Defensive Rookie of the Year in this league. I think it's going to be sacks. I think it's going to be pressures. It's hard for a non-pass rusher to win this award, even somebody like Travis Hunter, who's obviously going to have the attention and the household name. He's not like most corners. He's kind of a unicorn and a player, and so he's got a better shot than most. But I just think Abdul Carter is going to be so dominant for the Giants, playing on a defensive line where you cannot isolate any of the, like you can't leave any of them one-on-one. And so they're probably going to leave the rookie one-on-one more often than not. And I think he's just going to absolutely eat. I think pass rushers win these awards. I think Abdul Carter is going to win it.
How much fun is it going to be the first time a team decides to double Carter and single Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah, good luck with that, everybody.
Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm also going Abdul Carter. I mean, this dude's instincts are off the charts. I remember watching that game, Penn State, Notre Dame, during the college football playoff, and literally just watching him the entire game. He knew exactly where to be on every play. It's as if he knows what the other team is doing. He's an absolute freak. Abdul Carter, Defensive Rookie of the Year, no doubt.
He played that game with one arm too, Steve. He was completely injured and only one arm. He was still the best player on the field.
Insane.
All right, let's move on to the Offensive Player of the Year. Who do you guys have winning that there?
I know. Well, I'm not going to spoil Luke's. I'll just say it's Derrick Henry for me. This guy is not normal. So when we talk about, he's in his early 30s. Yeah, he had all these carries. Well, he always has all these carries. He always comes back the next year and blows up the NFL. And I think he's in such a great multifaceted run game. I rewatched all his snaps and all these different schemes when I did the piece for Athlon recently on the best running backs in every type of scheme. I mean, Derrick Henry was one of the best outside zone runners in the NFL last year. Think about that. We think about him as, power counter trap, sweep, pull, whatever. He can do everything. I don't see any slowdown. The guy is still, he's running like he's 24. He has an absolutely insane offseason program. I think he comes in, and while his quarterback will be the MVP this time, as he should have been last year, I think Derrick Henry wins Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all, Doug. I'm going to go Saquon Barkley just because I think he's going to basically have the same season he had last year. I don't know why would expect anything else. He's still only 28 years old. I think he's got plenty left in the tank. I think that offense, again, it's an offense where you can't just focus on one guy. Jalen Hurts, when they're all healthy, Jalen Hurts throwing to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown with Barkley in the backfield, they're never going to be able to just load up on him without giving up those big plays down the field. And even when you're attacking the run, similar to what Baltimore has with you either pick Lamar or you pick Derrick Henry and you're going to lose every time. It's going to be the similar for Philly. I think Barkley's going to have plenty of space to run. We're going to see a similar season from him this year. I don't know if it's 2,000 yards, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think he wins this.
The interesting thing about Barkley, real quick, he and McCaffrey have the same sort of career arc. You either lead the league in yards from scrimmage or you play 4 games.
Right.
That's pretty much it. And they've alternated yards from scrimmage over the last 6 years. One guy's hurt and one guy gets it. The Eagles are set up so well to do that if Barkley can stay healthy. Little known fact that Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson each had more run blocking reps last year than pass blocking reps.
Wow.
I can't even begin to get into how insanely rare that is in today's NFL.
Yeah, those guys are studs. I almost went Saquon, but I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. I mean, you guys know I'm kind of the Bengals guy in this chat right now. I'd say that offense is going to be absolutely legendary. Jamar Chase is an absolute beast. He ended the year on an incredible run. Jamar Chase, Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
One thing about Offensive Player of the Year, no players won back-to-back Offensive Player of the Year since Marshall Faulk did in 2001, where he won 3 times in actual row from 99 to 2001. So we'll see if Saquon could be the first one to do it in over 24 years.
That Marshall Faulk run from 99 to 01 was maybe the best 3-year run for any running back ever.
Yeah.
Too bad it ended in a Super Bowl loss to the New England Patriots.
All right, let's move on to Defensive Player of the Year. Who do you have taking home that award?
Myles Garrett, as I said before, I watched last week for another project all of Myles Garrett's reps in which he was double teamed, and the guys doubling him looked outnumbered. He's just not a guy at 270 who moves like he's 240 and hits like he's 300. I don't know what else to say. Best defensive player in football.
Yeah, it's the
best
same.
non-quarterback, really. Just
Yeah.
as far as his elevation over everyone else, I think he's the best non-quarterback in football.
It's Myles Garrett for me too. I think he might be the most gifted pass rusher in the history of the game. When you look at the physical traits and his ability to maximize them, and actually, because we see guys all the time that are big and fast and explosive and powerful, but they don't ever translate that to be as dominant as those tools should be. Garrett has done that. He has lived up to the ceiling that he has as a physical just athlete, and he's put it all together. He's got the technique. He knows how to close. He knows how to finish. He's the guy that you can slide your protections, you can chip, you can leave the tight end in the back end, and none of it matters. And he's still going to eat. He's still going to have his. And when that happens, you're talking about a guy, like you said, 6'5", 270. We've never seen a guy this athletic, this dominant, who's able to maximize those tools, I don't think, in the game's history. I think he wins it until he feels like stopping.
The guys this fast are not that big. The guys this big are not that fast.
Exactly.
Except for him.
I don't know if I'm saying this just to be different, but my vibe check kind of is telling me Maxx Crosby, Defensive Player of the Year. The guy's an absolute animal, absolute freak. I think Pete Carroll's going to bring some extra juice into that locker room. I think there's going to be some energy that's like, hey, we might be a winning team. I think Maxx Crosby is going to do something to get over the top.
Max was my pick last year. I picked Max for that last year, so I don't disagree with that.
Maxx Crosby had 18 tackles for loss last season, and they weren't all sacks. He had 7 sacks. He had 11 tackles for loss in the run game.
Wow.
And he's just all in the mental game, too. If you guys saw Hard Knocks, he's always up in there. He changes the game in so many ways. Obviously, Myles Garrett's probably the better player, but awards don't always reflect who the better player is, so I think it's going to be Max this year.
I remember Yannick Ngakoue was like this. The guys who get effort sacks and effort tackles for loss. Max, he's got great instincts and gap awareness, and he just knows where to go. But he plays as if he's listening to, Slayer with his hair on fire all the time. I respect that.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And lastly, we got MVP. Who's taking home the ultimate award?
Lamar, my God. What more does he have to do?
Lamar.
He was the best quarterback in the NFL last season by an absolutely crushing margin. And by the way, he was very good in the playoffs too. It's not his fault that Todd Monken's brain fell out of his head for the second straight postseason.
Everything Doug just said, Lamar Jackson. He should have won it last year, and not just because I've been a Lamar apologist for his entire career. All the numbers, there's literally no metric that he didn't dominate. And I think the only two categories that Josh Allen had over him last year were rushing touchdowns and like maybe he won like one or two. I can't even remember what the other one was. But and again, Doug can give you every stat you want on why.
I have it teed up.
You have them all, man. Lamar was the best player in football last year. It's an absolute crime that he didn't win MVP. I think he makes the rest of the league pay for it this year, and he wins it rightfully.
Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback last season in, deep breath, passes of 10 to 19 air yards, passes of 20 plus air yards, throwing under pressure, that was Burrow. With play action, Lamar. Without play action, Lamar. With pre-snap motion, it was Josh Allen. Lamar was second. Inside the pocket, Joe Burrow. Lamar was second. Outside the pocket, Lamar. Come on. One of the greatest quarterback seasons of all time, and the guy doesn't win MVP.
41 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions, and almost rushed for 1,000 yards also. And he didn't win MVP.
I've got a tweet up where I go into all four of Lamar's four of his interceptions on tape, and they were all either miscommunications with the receiver, or there was not one bad throw that led to an interception.
And it's not even his fault that they didn't win the playoffs. It's Mark Andrews' fault.
It's Todd Monken's fault.
But to give my pick, you guys aren't going to be that surprised. And I honestly don't even like this guy as a fan. But I'm going with Joe Burrow. I just think it's his year. I think the media would love to give this guy a award. They're absolutely obsessed with him. And I'm really not on like a fan basis. But I think it's going to be an incredible offensive season for the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, NFL MVP. Bet on it.
MVP going 9-8.
No, he's going to go 12-5.
I truly don't think you underestimate how bad this defense is going to be.
Yeah,
they could average 36 points a game and go 8-9. Like,
I can't wait to be right.
You know who never won MVP?
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Brees.
Drew Bledsoe, certainly.
Drew Brees never won MVP. You know why? Because he did so much and his defenses always fell short. Sometimes they were absolutely abysmal. I think Burrow could be Tom Brady, and just as far as skill set, I think career arc, I think it's going to be Brees. They're going to catch fire one year. He's going to win one Super Bowl, and we're never going to remember how great he was because the defenses were just hot garbage.
Yeah.